G'day guys, just Rob here again, doing another DVD Blu-ray update. I thought this time I might have a bit of a theme to my video. Just noticed recently I've bought a lot of animated movies. They've all got sort of different sort of styles of animation in them, so I thought I might do still a bit of a video on that. Yeah, so the first one I got was a movie that I tried to sort of download a few months ago, just through a torrent, and for some reason it didn't sort of finish. It got sort of halfway through, then it just seems to have stopped. And then I was in one of my local DVD shops the other day, and there it was on the shelf. So I thought, oh, I'll grab that. I think it was like it's like $5 I think. So I thought, oh, I might just grab that. Yeah, so I'm talking about the Gumby the movie. Just sort of like a sort of clay animation, sort of stop style of animation, which I think is a bit of a sort of an underrated form of animation, especially these days. I think even sort of computer generated. I think you get the same sort of style of sort of stop animation, but I think it's all done with computers, so it's not quite as as difficult as it used to be. I think I'm not sure of the whole procedure, but I think they used to sort of you little sort of model, little sort of plasticine character, and sort of set him up, and then you get your camera and sort of take sort of I think it was like 2 still shots of that. Then you sort of move your character slightly, like move his arm or something slightly, a few millimeters, and then take a few 2 more shots, 2 more still shots, and then just sort of keep doing that. I'm sure that would take hours and hours, and would have been a very sort of lengthy sort of process. So Gumby was I think it was created. I think the character was created back in the 1950s, and then he had like the show. I think ran from 1956 to 1963, I think it was. I think it had I think it was 233 episodes in it. It's just a very sort of popular sort of TV show, especially in the 90s, because that's when I sort of watched it as a kid. Had sort of reruns of it and sort of through the 90s. So it's about a sort of green sort of plasticine man called Gumby. He's sort of like a really sort of likable sort of character, is always sort of friendly, and always trying to have his friends and always having adventures, and because you could sort of like morph into anything you wanted to, and then you used to do things like a sort of a toy room, I guess, and you sort of have all these sort of books, and you could sort of just jump into a book and then to be in the world of the book, and so you could sort of go to like King Arthur's time and have a sword fight, or you could go back to prehistoric times and hang out with like a woolly mammoth or something like that. Or I think even in the movie there's a scene where he's having like a Star Wars type sort of thing, where he sort of has like a saber fight, a lightsaber fight with the enemy, and his sort of hand gets sort of chopped off, and so I think that's perhaps a bit of a tribute perhaps to Star Wars. Yeah, so you sort of had Gumby, then you had Pickle, which is kind of like his best friend. He's like a sort of red sort of horse, which I think I read somewhere. Someone reckoned it was sort of orange sort of colour, but I always thought it was sort of more of a reddish sort of colour. But anyway, and he had who else was there? You also had Pickle. He was like the sort of the yellow sort of dinosaur. Then you had Goo. She was like a sort of blue, sort of flying mermaid that used to be able to sort of spit out sort of blue balls to sort of attack people with. Yeah, just a really good sort of really good good show. Good sort of really sort of lots of imagination and lots of sort of action, and Gumby's always sort of morphing into lots of different things, and always just sort of jump into a book and they can go to another totally different sort of scenery or totally different story, and it's just really sort of good vision, I guess you'd say. So the movie was pretty good. Just think what happened in the movie. Essentially what happens, I think it's about, because you've also got the blockheads. They're sort of like the bad guys, I guess. They're sort of brothers, and they're really sort of selfish, and always trying to make a buck, I suppose. Always trying to make money. So in the movie, the blockheads are sort of owns like a loan company, like a money loaning company, and they have all these people that sort of loan money to sort of build their farms, and there hasn't been any sort of rain recently, so they haven't been able to grow crops, and so they haven't been able to sort of pay back the loans, and the blockheads come along and they try to do like a foreclosing of them, I guess, on them. And so, so then Gumby decides to help him out, so he sort of throws on like a fundraising concert with his band, I think it's the Clay Boys. While he's sort of playing the concert, I think Gumby's dog, when he sort of hears the music, he has this sort of strange thing where he sort of cries out sort of diamonds, and the blockheads sort of see this and think, oh, this is a great way to sort of get free diamonds and get rich, I guess. So they sort of take a recording of the concert. So they'll sort of play it back later, and then they sort of steal the dog, and then when they try to sort of, once they've stolen the dog and try to sort of play back the music to the dog, it doesn't seem to work for some reason. So then the blockheads sort of decide, oh, it must be because it must need live music to do it. So then that's sort of where it's sort of I won't sort of spoil it for you, but that's sort of where it goes. I just remember watching sort of Gumby as a kid back in the 90s, I think. It was sort of one of my favourite shows. I think the Gumby character was created back in the 50s, and I think the show was in 60s and 70s, and then I'm still sort of watching the 90s, so it's still still quite popular show. I think it's probably not necessarily perhaps quite popular today, I guess, but it has been popular for quite a few decades. Since the original sort of showing it. I just think what other movies there are that are sort of in a similar sort of vein. This is probably a bit of it's kind of like the sort of Toy Story, I guess, isn't it? Similar sort of thing in Toy Story it happens as well. You got Gumby's like the Woody sort of character, I guess. In like a toy room, I guess, and you also got Winnie and the Willows is another sort of clay animation. The Wombles. Wallace and Gromit, of course. You got there was a movie came out called what's it called? Uppertoon. I think it came out in 1987, I think it was. Which is basically just like a sort of short. It had a lot of sort of short. It's kind of like a tribute to I think it was George Powell. He was like one of the sort of pioneers of sort of stop animation back in the 30s and 40s and 50s. Just like a bit of a tribute to him. He's got a lot of his sort of short sort of clips in there of things he's made, and also I think there's also I haven't sort of seen it, but I think there's also a clip of Gumby in there as well, a sequence of Gumby, sort of in that in that sort of movie as well. I should check that out sometime. I'll get a chance to watch that one if I can. So Gumby's just a really really good sort of character, and a really good movie. The next one I got was one called The First Snow of Winter. It's just kind of a sort of short, 30-minute sort of animated featurette. I'm going to split this one up because I'm also on the hunt for sort of old school sort of rare titles that just obscure stuff that I've never sort of heard of, and always good to sort of have a look out there and just look at different things and different sort of styles, I guess. Essentially it's about a little duckling called Sean. Basically what happens is his family, they're sort of gonna migrate away because it's coming up close to winter, so they're basically just gonna migrate to sort of warmer climate, I guess. He sort of gets kind of like a Home Alone thing, I guess. He sort of gets left behind sort of thing. So it's basically just about him sort of fending for himself, trying to survive out the cold winter. Just really, really good sort of old school animation, and it's got sort of really, really nice sort of painted backgrounds, which are really look really nice. So it's also got the voice of I think it's Dermot Morgan, the guy from Father Ted. He plays Father Ted in the Father Ted TV show. I think this is actually sort of dedicated to him, actually, because I think he actually died just before this movie was released. Which was a bit sad. I never knew that he died. So that's if you want to. It's very short, I suppose. It's only 30 minutes, I guess. But if you see that one, it's definitely worth a pick up. The next one I got is a Korean film, very much in the sort of style of Studio Ghibli, called My Beautiful Girl, Ari. Very, it's very sort of stylish of the, those sort of Studio Ghibli top movies. Yeah, I actually thought this was pretty good, really good sort of visuals, and basically it's about a boy, just about his life, I guess, and I think his father's just committed suicide recently, and his mother's just sort of started to date again, and his best friend sort of about to move away to do study, so you probably won't see him for a while, and just about him, and I guess he's a bit lonely, I guess, and I think he sort of finds this magical sort of marble, I guess it is, and he sort of I think it's in like a lighthouse or something, and he sort of meets this this sort of creature, and it just what happens with him, I guess, and but it's actually really good. I thought it was a really good sort of movie. A lot of sort of symbolism and stuff that sort of might go over my head a little bit, I guess, but I just thought it was pretty good. Apparently there's actually, I think I did a bit of a look online about it, and apparently there's I think there's sort of two versions of it. There's the Korean version, which is the one I sort of watched here, but apparently that's got a lot of scenes cut out of it. For some, I'm not quite sure why, for some sort of reason. And then of course there's the English sort of version, which is apparently it's got all those extra scenes in it, but it's got a bit of a dodgy sort of audio dub on it. So, but I reckon I might try if I can track down the the original, or the English version, just so I can sort of watch the extra scenes, I guess. That's definitely, if you sort of track that one down, that's definitely a good one to, especially if you're into sort of the Studio Ghibli type movies, I guess. The next one I got was is a foreign film from Iran. Just see if I can pronounce the title correctly for it. It's called Persepolis. I think that's how you pronounce it. Sort of a black and white film, black and white animated film. I think set in 1970s, Iran. Apparently it's based on an autobiographical novel by what's her name? Barjane. Sataraki. Not sure if you can see that or not. I don't think I can pronounce that very well. I've sort of seen this once before, and I haven't sort of still in the plastic. I haven't sort of seen it recently. But I just remember it being really good. I think it won a lot of awards, I think, when it sort of first came out. So it's just about a little girl, and just about life and her growing up, and I think she sort of starts off in Iran, and then I think a family sort of sends her away to, I think it's France, to study, and also to get away from some of the political sort of turmoil at the time. A lot of things sort of happening. To try and keep her safe, I guess. But that's another good one to definitely check out if you haven't already seen that one. And the other one I got was Resident Evil Degeneration on Blu-ray, which was apparently $50 when it first came out. I got it for $10. I think I've heard a lot of people. I think it's probably either really love it or really hate it. A lot of people said it was like absolute crap, and other people reckoned it was pretty good. Even the guy in the shop when I bought it, he reckoned it was a really good movie. And we had a bit of a chat about it. And basically, it's just like a CGI version, I guess, of Resident Evil. I actually didn't think it was too bad. Enjoyable. A lot of very sort of cliche. They're really sort of set between, I think it's apparently between Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 5. And I think it's just someone sort of wants revenge against the things that happened in the Raccoon City. So they release I think it's the T virus or the G virus again, and basically, of course you get Claire Redfield and Leon S. Kennedy. They're out of the games. I haven't sort of played the games, so I don't know all the characters that much. That sort of come, that's sort of brought in just try and fix the solution. Back to the solution. Characters in this movie are very sort of Japanese. You sort of got the sort of the Japanese sort of emo sort of haircut, which I suppose which is a lot sort of different. Well, a lot more Japanese influence and a lot more game influence, say that like the American sort of Resident Evil movies that have come out over the last few years. Plus, I watch a lot of zombie movies, I guess, but it always surprises me that how sort of dumb the characters are. They've never sort of seen a zombie before, so they sort of shoot the zombies in the stomach, and the zombie gets back up again. They're really surprised that the zombies they're still moving around. Obviously because it's a zombie, obviously got to shoot in the head, I guess. But I don't they have zombie movies? These sort of haven't never sort of seen zombies before. Anyway. And just you got cliche. Sort of got the lone sort of military guy that's brought in and doesn't sort of say much, and he's really good at what he does. And you got the scared little girl that sort of cries all the time, and then you got the military men that are really sort of slow to react. Like the zombie sort of jumps on them and they sort of go, what's happening? They don't sort of like if they're proper. If they were sort of trained military people, they'd really react within seconds, like that. They get attacked, they'd be shooting, or not just staring at it and thinking, oh shit, what am I going to do? You got sort of one of the members of the team that sort of end up sort of sacrificing himself to sort of save the other team, and the animation was pretty good. Wasn't perhaps necessarily as good as say. Got same sort of style animation, I guess, of the Final Fantasy movies, but I don't think it was quite as good as Final Fantasy type animation. Even though I think it came out like 10 or 20 years ago, didn't it? The faces looked a bit sort of morphed, and some of the sort of lip syncing was a bit out of sync. And some of the character voices didn't really seem to sort of fit the character design. They were sort of different sort of accents and different sort of style. Didn't sort of gel very well. It reminded me a lot of the Final Fantasy movie, and also the Playboy TV show. Because there's like a scene in there where it's got I'm not sure which movie, because I think it's 3-part Labour movies. There's a scene in there that's very similar to the one in this Resident Evil movie. Essentially, in like a big sort of complex with all this sort of scaffolding and different sort of levels, and basically you got this big sort of huge monster that's sort of mutated, and it's sort of trying to crawl through all this scaffolding, and sort of trying to get to these tiny little people, and the tiny little people are sort of limping, they've been shot and whatever, they've been attacked, and they're obviously sort of limping through the scaffolding, and it's just very sort of remnants, same sort of things sort of happen in the part Labour movies. Also a bit of laugh at the timer too. Like there's a sort of scene where the facility's going to get shut down, so there's an automatic sequence where it sort of gets the levels get incinerated, so they basically time it down. This room will be incinerated in T minus 10 minutes, sort of thing. But the very sort of the counter sort of goes like 5, 4, 3, 2. Like normally counter should be like for a second, it should be like 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. But this is like 5, 4, 3, 2. It's just too quick. And also after that, then it's the once it's incinerated, then obviously they've got to dunk the whole sort of level in water, and it sort of says this, this level will be, I don't know, drenched in water in soon. Like it doesn't say give you time, it gives you the word soon. So it says this room will be, dunked soon. Which is a bit strange. Anyway, that's my. I think I've sort of rambled a bit too much with that one. So just watching this little DVD update of just a few animated movies, like different sort of styles of animation that I've just sort of bought recently. If you rate, subscribe to me, that'll be great. And so until next time, I'll see you all later.